Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashley Grant. I'm from the Milton Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you today to our webinar with Conestoga College. We're very happy to partner with Conestoga on this presentation and with the Chamber in general. So I'd like to welcome Erin Caldwell, the Conestoga Engagement Team Coordinator. Erin, thank you for having us today and for joining us today, and to the rest of the Conestoga team as well, and their special guest from CarMax Magna.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ashley, Scott, and to all members of the Milton Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to engage with you today. As Ashley mentioned, my name is Erin Caldwell, and I am part of the Conestoga team. On behalf of Conestoga and my colleagues joining us here for the webinar, I would like to express our gratitude for being included in the COVID Conversations webinar series. Collaboration and accessing resources will be key to building successful and sustainable operations during COVID and beyond the resolution of the pandemic. During the webinar, we will share opportunities to collaborate with Conestoga and provide information on how to access resources that can provide support to you, your employees, and your business operations. We will also share our experience collaborating with our current Milton partners and those in other communities. Joining our presentation are my colleagues, Paul Osborne, lead of our marketing and community engagement teams, Christine Dawson, lead of our work integrated learning and career services teams, Gail Jordan, lead of our corporate training teams, and distinguished Conestoga graduate, Darren Stewart, General Manager, CarMax Magna International, right here in Milton. As we go through the webinar, if you have questions, please put those into the chat and Ashley will direct those to us to answer at the end of the call. If you're listening to the recording of the call, please reach out to us directly or connect with us through the chamber. We want to hear from you and learn more about your business needs and how we can collaborate and provide support to you. At this time, I'd like to invite Paul to take the mic and get our webinar started.
All right, thanks, Erin. I think it's very timely to have this webinar as we all struggle with the pandemic and reopening. And I think the information you'll receive today will really give you some good tools to come out of this and be more profitable and help your individual business and industry. But first of all, I'm going to give you the lay of the land and at Conestoga and just how we are right now and the effect that we have on our local community. And a lot of the research you'll see here was work that we had done in our Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, Stratford area, which is our core. But what I want you to keep in mind is that, you know, we have talked with Laurier and so on about coming into Milton. These are some of the effects we have on a community when we come and settle in. So I'll start first with our number of students. We're at 22,500 students as of our winter semester, over 10,000 international students. And of course, COVID has put some uncertainty as to how that will be, although we were successful in our spring-summer semester. And we think we will do quite well because the government has allowed international students now to learn from home for at least the next year so they could stay in their home country and take programs and courses at Conestoga. We do have campuses in 7 different communities. We have about 3,000 apprenticeship seats. Apprenticeship certainly is one of the pillars of Conestoga, always has been, and we're really proud to be one of the leaders in that area. And we also have 16+ degree programs, and that surprises a lot of people. We are the largest degree offering college outside of the GTA, and we have a lot in the field of engineering, in business, community services, health, the full gamut, and we continue to grow in that area. And what's kind of unique about our degrees is that we have clear pathways from all of our diplomas into our degree program, so a student can start in a diploma and then move into the 3rd year of a degree. We have about 1,300 full-time employees at Conestoga. We do a lot of applied research, which may be really interesting to this audience. So applied research at a college would be on the ground, immediate problem, how can we get in there and help? And I always think of a company called Ramoa, which was based in Cambridge, made high-end suitcases. They had an issue when they switched from making their carry-on luggage to their full-size luggage. they'd have to shut down their line for a day. So we brought in our mechanical engineering degree students, our faculty, did research for them, and we were able to change that turnover to 1 hour, which was huge for their productivity. So that's what applied research, or an example of what it would be, really in your institute, in your industry or your business, solving an everyday problem that you have. And we do a lot of employers come to us and we help upskill their employees. So, and we can customize all that training. We have almost 55% of local adults in our region have taken at least one course at Conestoga. And Larry Smith, who's an economics professor at the University of Waterloo, did this research for us. And he was shocked to see that almost 55% of all adults in our region have come to Conestoga for some sort of training. We do a lot through our continuing education, CE, or corporate training, CT, courses. And also 80% of students now in CE are saying we need courses that will improve our career, allow us to go to that next step. Whereas before, continuing education, I would say would be a lot more fun courses, photography and maybe culinary. And although we still offer those, now people are coming to us to upskill themselves to get to their next job. We have almost 1,000 industry and community PAC leaders. So each full-time program has a program advisory committee, or a PAC. And this is where we come to you, experts in the industry. So if this is a manufacturing program, we bring in people. And I know Darren from Carmack sits on one of ours and has chaired these PACs before. If you're a paramedic, if you're an accountant, we go to that industry to get the experts to help guide our curriculum, because colleges, we can adapt quickly. And we want to know when we say that our graduates are career ready, they are learning exactly what they need to do to be learning to step into the career that they're going to and be ready, job ready immediately upon graduation. So we really depend on you, the experts in the community. We had 7,200 students providing 2 million hours of work last year, whether that were placements, practicums, co-ops. So 2 million hours of work our students put into our community. We have 3,500 local businesses owned by Conestoga graduates, and about 65% of our grads stay in the community in which they attend. And that's really important. We'll find a lot of the universities where they often will draw from further afield. And when they graduate, the numbers show that often they return to where their roots are, and they may start a business there or go to work in their first career there. Where at Conestoga, about 65% of our students stay in our community. And because so many stay in our community, our economic impact is tremendous. Larry Smith research found that our graduates contribute $2.3 billion annually to the local community because they stay, live there, pay taxes, raise their families, start their businesses. And that has really been eye-opening for everybody involved, the economic impact that our college can have in the communities in which they reside. I'm going to stop there, and I am going to pass it over to Christine Dawson, who heads up our co-op area. Christine.
Thanks, Paul. The vision of a polytechnic education is really this opportunity to collaborate with community, students, faculty members, and employers. And so that employer engagement is at the heart of what we do. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can get involved with us, how we can get involved with you, how you can access our talented students and faculty and graduates. So we've got many schools at Conestoga that are providing a variety of students graduating with a variety of credentials, from one-year certificates through to diplomas, advanced diplomas, postgraduate certificates, and degrees. And so really, if there's a student that you're looking for from a particular program area, there's a really good chance that out of our 200 to 300 programs, that there's going to be a student that meets your needs. We also have really grown our funded applied research over the last several years. In fact, rising to one of Canada's top applied research institutions. And Paul spoke a little bit about applied research, and I'm going to speak a little bit more in a slide or two about how you can access that talent through student capstone projects and other project-based learning, and even co-op students involved in applied research. And we have access to funding through tri-councils and a number of other granting agencies that will allow you to subsidize your access to that talent and research. So this is just a sampling of our research centers at Conestoga. You might note the Magna Center for Supply Chain Excellence, which is one of our flagship research centers. And on the call, if there are any questions, we also have Veronique Boscard, who could speak certainly to the Schlegel Center for Advancing Seniors Care. So as I mentioned earlier, employer relationships are key for Conestoga, and there's so many opportunities for you to get involved, and so many services that we can offer to you to help build that partnership and build your business, and hopefully help the next generation of students succeed as well. So you know, as Paul mentioned, we have an opportunity for program advisory committees. There's an opportunity to get involved in you know, sponsoring scholarships and awards, which also can be an interesting way to help build your talent pipeline and build your brand on campus through strategic use of scholarships and awards, say for graduating students out of particular classes. That's something kind of to think about if you're interested. Certainly, we always welcome opportunities if you have equipment that you're not using anymore, and you are able to donate that for a tax receipt, and then our students are able to learn on that state-of-the-art equipment. And of course, I'm going to speak to how you can access our students and our graduates, and how you can bring that fresh talent into your organization. And Gail's going to speak to some of the other opportunities that you can get involved in services that we provide to employers a little bit later in the presentation. So work integrated learning. It's a term that you may have heard before. It's gained popularity in the last couple of years. Maybe the most common term that's used to describe work integrated learning is co-op. And you know, you may have had a co-op student before, maybe even a high school co-op student. And there is a difference between high school co-op and post-secondary education co-op at a college. You know, our students are completing their work terms in fields of study that are work experiences that are related to their field of study. And that's really important because they have the skills that you need, and then they're able to apply those to the real world. But co-op isn't the only type of work integrated learning that we offer. And while co-op is generally a paid, you know, work term experience that could last between 4 and 16 months, depending on what the predetermined program design is. We have field placements available. They could be as short as 1 week, you know, or up to, you know, even 8 weeks. They might be full-time, or they might be part-time throughout a semester, and they're generally unpaid experiences. We have some of our programs require clinical placements or mandatory work integrated learning experiences in order for the student to obtain their professional registrations or designations. So those are part of programs. As I mentioned earlier, we also have opportunity for applied research, capstone projects, and project-based learning, which is really at the core of what a polytechnic education is. In terms of co-op, we have over 64 programs with over 4,500 students available to complete work terms. So you can see that if you have a business need, we probably have a student that can help you, and that's what we're hoping to do. So capstone projects and applied research. So most of our programs require either a 4 or 8 month project prior to graduation. A capstone project is kind of like a culminating project. It's bringing in ideally kind of all of the theory and learnings that the students have had throughout their program, and it gives them an applied project where they're able to really you know, demonstrate that they've understood what they were learning and that they can apply it. And so that's a great way to get connected if you haven't maybe been connected to a student before, or maybe you're not sure if you have a project that will take a student 4 months full-time to complete and aren't sure you have enough work for, say, a co-op student. Starting out by working with a student group on a capstone project or an applied research project is a great way to go. There's little or no cost to participate if it's a capstone project. If it is truly an applied research project, a funded project, there is generally some commitment, financial commitment on the part of the employer. But as I mentioned, there's also lots of funding available. And even right now during COVID-19, extra funding made available for employers who want to take part. So no better time than now. If you think you have a project that you'd like assistance on, connect with us and we'll see what funding opportunities we can connect you with. So in terms of co-op, so this is close to my heart. I think that co-op students, are an ideal way to infuse that fresh talent into your organization. You may not be able to, especially during this time, afford to send people out for, lengthy training. And so if you aren't able to do that, then infusing some student talent into your organization is a quick way to bring that new thinking, fresh theories and ideas right into your business. They can fill short-term and temporary projects. They're a great way to test out talent, build your talent pipeline, see if they're a good fit for you, see if the program is a good fit for you, because it's a 4-month commitment, potentially. It's a short commitment. You might have a specific project in mind, or vacation coverage, short-term project coverage, and it's a great way to kind of just start to get engaged. And so we're really fortunate to have on the call Darren Stewart from CarMax. And Darren has been hiring our co-op students for a number of years, and CarMax has been hiring co-op students since the 90s. And we did a quick little pull of numbers, and we think it's at least 200 students that they've hired. So who better to hear from some of the benefits of bringing a student into your organization than one of our top employers. So Darren.
Thanks, Christine. Yeah, it's an amazing benefit having co-op students come into the organization. As Christine mentioned, we've been bringing people in since the early 90s, and we really look at it as a pipeline for our recruiting, right? We look at bringing people in. We really started off as summer students, and then as co-op and work integrated learning sort of grew, it became co-op. And then, we were able to continually have a pipeline of fresh talent. And I think that's a key point, Christine, is bringing in current learning into an organization that may actually be a little bit aged in what the degree or the content that they graduated with and from. That brings in new ideas, new concepts, and that just completely benefits it. And then it creates a succession planning pool for us, right? So we're bringing people in at entry levels, and then they grow into stronger or higher levels within the organization. I've worked 3 shifts, and now I get the opportunity to work with this great team, leading this great team at CarMax Heavy Stamping. So it's exceptionally important to do it and to help grow the talent pool for sure. So we're happy to be strategic partners with Conestoga for sure. Thank you.
And I think Darren, if you have questions later, I know that Darren also is happy to help answer that from the kind of the employer perspective, someone who's been through it before. Thanks. So I mentioned there's opportunities through our applied research area. There's certainly funding available, and like I said, extra funding available right now with COVID-19. That's the same thing for hiring our co-op students. Currently, there are some really phenomenal wage subsidies available for employers. The Ontario government always offers a cooperative education tax credit of up to $3,000 per student per term. Currently, the federal government has a program called the Student Wage Placement Program, which typically offers $5,000 or 50% of a wage subsidy for a student, and up to $7,500 or 75% of the wage subsidy for a student from an underrepresented group, women in STEM, or first year students. However, due to COVID-19, they have increased that to 75% for all students. and you are actually able to stack the tax credit with the wage subsidy. So you could earn up to or be compensated for up to $7,500 per student work term. And then the remaining salary that you pay, the 25%, you could qualify for up to 30% of that back through the cooperative education tax credit. So at a really, really low cost, you'd be able to access talent. And some of those extra wage benefits are now in place up until the end of March 2021. And we also have an exciting new program from the Ontario government that isn't officially announced, but I will give you a sneak peek. And that's going to be a program to support co-op and grad, as well as apprenticeship hiring in advanced manufacturing and the automotive sector. So if you're interested in that, please contact me. We can't name the program just yet, but it's going to be announced very, very soon. And finally, there's another program if an employer or even the chamber is interested in partnering with Conestoga. We have an opportunity, or with any post-secondary institution, you have an opportunity to apply for a position that would help facilitate those employer partnerships. And these are all really critical opportunities to help employers hire in this really difficult time, because there was a significant impact on students due to COVID-19. The National Association for Co-op and Work Integrated Learning, indicated that 35% of students who responded to a survey indicated that their placements were canceled. Work terms are down 23% on average. At Conestoga, we're down close to 60% for this term. And we have found this across the country, that colleges have been impacted more dramatically by COVID-19 due to the hands-on nature of the work that the students do. Less of those work terms were able to be converted to online work. So if there's something you can do to support bringing a student on this for the remainder of the summer or in the fall or winter, please do reach out. We would love to work with you to figure out how we can make that happen for you. So finally, before I pass the microphone on to Gail, if you want to work with us, there's a free system that helps you post your opportunities, both to co-op students or graduates. It's no cost. And we have staff that can assist you, really working almost as an extension of your HR team, or if you don't have an HR team, to help develop the job posting, help you set the salary level, and work with you regarding the onboarding and support of the student. If there's a problem during the work term, we're always here for you to help connect you, help the communication with the student, and help guide the partnership, hopefully to be a successful work term. Additionally, if you are interested, we also, I know you have service providers in the local region, but we do have talent through our Employment Ontario, Conestoga Career Center, and talent that may also wish to work in Milton. So if that's another area of interest, there's a whole other suite of funding and support for employers that we can assist you with there. So with that, there's also training supplements and supports, and Gail's going to talk about the, I know, the Canada Ontario Job Grant next.
Thanks, Christine. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, I think you're hearing a little bit from Christine, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more. It's almost one of the hidden services of a college, that it does allow organizations, employers, to access some funding that they may not have thought of before. So Canada Ontario Job Grant is one of those funds where our Employment Ontario Employment Services provider in our region helps organizations access the funding. And you have EOES providers in the Milton area that also can help with that kind of thing. Your choice, you can go to your Milton provider if you're already connected with someone. What the Canada Ontario Job Grant can do is help you upskill your employees. So it is very much funding that is driven by employer needs. So we look at, an employer looks at what they need, what kind of training they need in their organization. They go out and find a training provider, which Conestoga can be one of those training providers. There are many. And that government grant can help pay for much of the training that you're accessing, up to $15,000 per trainee. And it says up to 83% on my slide. When you are hiring new employees, you actually can access up to 100% of your training costs back to the organization. So that's one area where we can help an employer work with your EOES provider to find the right training to meet your needs. as you can imagine, in the last few months, one of the areas that has certainly been a focus for us at Conestoga, and we had mentioned earlier in the presentation that trades and apprenticeship are a pillar of the activity that happens at Conestoga. Healthcare is also one of our pillars. We are very fortunate to have a very strong School of Health. We are leaders in many areas in the province in delivering healthcare training. And you may or may not have heard, and if I'm telling you for the first time, I'm glad to be announcing it, but Conestoga College has recently been the recipient of a $5 million donation from the Cowan Foundation. And that's going to help us in all of our areas of healthcare education. That's going to bring us technology and new ways of delivering training. And as you can imagine, that's really important in light of COVID and us having to pivot very quickly to virtual online deliveries and figure out new ways to be able to reach our students. We have certificate, diploma, degree, and graduate certificate programs in the healthcare area, all, as I said, leader in the province in terms of what we deliver. We also have a few projects, and again, this is an area that sometimes businesses don't realize that colleges get involved with, but we have the ability to work with industry sectors or employers and see if we can help generate some government funding to help support areas that might be in need of some workforce development. So as you can imagine, you're hearing about it, I'm sure, in the news. I'm not sure if there's many healthcare employers on the line, but certainly the workforce in healthcare has received a lot of attention of late. We need more workers in healthcare. We need upscaled education for our workers in healthcare. So a couple of the things that we've done at Conestoga as an immediate reaction to the healthcare need in long-term care and home and community is developed a fast entry program that allows a student to take education free of charge. Again, there's our funding piece that we can go after. And that student then has the ability to work in a long-term care facility or a home and community retirement home. But that student also has that education that will allow them to path into further post-secondary education. So that's the really exciting part of that, is that we can get people employed, meet some workforce needs right away, but that individual also has the benefit of having some advanced standing in their back pocket to be able to go forward and do more. We have a new residence assistant program that we'll be working on and we'll be delivering over the next 6 months or so, where we are training people as in the public health area, infection control. You can hear all these words that I'm sure you're going, okay, that's needed. We have a program where we will be looking at hopefully re-employing and retraining some of those laid off hospitality workers that are out there and laid off from other industries, retail, whoever has had a difficult time through COVID. We can work on programs that can say, okay, let's take that talent and build a workforce where it's needed today to allow that person, again, that individual has more skills moving forward. And again, workforce development, I just had one more on that one. Erin, if you could flip, can you go back? Oh, thanks. So one more, and so we also do a lot of work in workforce upskilling. Again, we are in the position at Conestoga through our research centers to be able to look at where can we do better, where is there training needed in our healthcare sector or other sector. And we have two recent projects. Well, one's been going on for a while, and that's training PSWs in excellence in resident-centered care. So again, upskilling, let's make sure that we've got the best people out there looking after our seniors. And a recent project, Cradle, which is going to address some of the upskilling in the industry to help healthcare workers deal with dementia patients. So as you can see, we've got a lot of things going on in our healthcare, and I thought that was really relevant to show in a COVID response kind of presentation where our energies have been lately. But I do want to also tell you that that's not all we're doing. So we can go to the next slide. We are also, as Paul had mentioned earlier, the provincial leaders in trades and apprenticeships. And one of the things you may have heard of recently is that we have a brand new trades campus that will be opening in 2021 in Cambridge, which is only about 40 minutes down the road to Milton. And we are looking at a state-of-the-art trades and apprenticeship building campus that is specifically focused to get those folks ready for manufacturing and construction and all of the different programs that we have in our apprenticeship area. We're very excited to say that after months of figuring out and pivoting to a virtual world, as you can imagine, trades and apprenticeship is a really tough one for us to miss out on training for our trades and apprenticeship folks. We are back to shops in July, looking forward to having our trade students back on campus to be able to get the learning that they need in order to finish their education. Right now we have a variety of programming in our construction, industrial trades, electrical, millwright, tool and die, machining, motive power, and our service trades. You may also know about, we have a very state-of-the-art culinary school that in our Waterloo campus that is a wonderful place to go out for dinner if you're looking for somewhere to go. And then we just as a little bit of a sneak peek again, we're trying to let you know what's coming up and coming at Conestoga, and that we are currently building capacity to deliver training in the transportation area. So we have a logistics and commercial trucking program that we are currently working with the ministry on to set that up to be able to have, again, service that workforce in the transportation industry. We have quickly pivoted in all of our programming at Conestoga during COVID to virtual deliveries. So what you're seeing right now, for example, is what the typical classroom looks like these days in a Zoom kind of environment. With many online learning supports to back it up. We have taken also our corporate training and been able to pivot to be able to deliver to organizations who are still looking at, in this time, getting some training out to their folks. So we have a number of workshops available now that companies can book. And again, sometimes this can be covered by something like the Canada-Ontario Job Grant. So costs can be supported that way. This is a sampling of our leadership workshops that we come in. We do 2 half-day sessions in many of these cases, where we will come in, have an instructor work with 12 or 15 of your leadership team or your frontline supervisors, and we can deliver some really excellent interactive training. We can still be interactive while we're on Zoom. So we've developed and moved very quickly to these deliveries. Virtual corporate training workshops are just part of what we do in our corporate training area. So next slide. The corporate training area at Conestoga is part of a school of workforce development. So again, looking at some of those areas that you really need in terms of, we're talking to employers all the time. What is it that you need? We're not coming up with it ourselves. We're saying, you know, think about the suite of things that we have going on at Conestoga and how can we modify them for your organization. Some of the things that we do quite frequently is we do hands-on assessments where we bring people in who are part of either in your recruiting pipeline or people who you are looking to move into other areas of your organization. And we have them work with our faculty in order to go through specific hands-on assessments to say, you know, here's the learning potential out of this individual. So how can we help get them to where they need to be? Frequently on-site training as opposed to college training. So we have a team of instructors who are quite happy to come out to your organization and help teach your folks in whatever discipline it is that you're looking for. Always on your schedule and for your team. So we have had instructors who have done courses at 11 o'clock at night in order to meet the needs of a shift that needs their training at that point in time. So we're able to do that for you. And again, that customized content. So if you think of anything that, I showed you a few things in the leadership area and in the IT area. But if there's anything that you know of that Conestoga teaches in our full-time or part-time programming, we can take that content and modify it for your business. One of the newer things that we've got that you'll hear a lot of colleges, post-secondary education institutions talk about right now are micro-credentials. And this is about a world where you need training quickly. You might not be able to wait 3 years for an advanced diploma or even 2 years for a diploma. You need to get some skills for your workforce or for yourself very quickly. So we're moving towards micro-credentials. And I just want to, again, this is all about sneak peeks today. So we do have micro-credentials that are launching at Conestoga this fall. And so I just wanted to let you hear in advance of everybody else a radio ad that's going to be coming up shortly. A little technical difficulty. Now, I'm not hearing it. Did we need to, Erin, do you need to unmute to do that? Can you unmute, Erin?
Micro-credentials in business, nursing, technology, community services, languages, and manufacturing quality.
These short, concentrated programs based on industry needs are flexible, innovative, and timely.
Micro-credentials, your recognition of professional development.
Conestoga College.
What you do here counts out there.
Micro-credentials. Register now for fall online courses.
Thanks, Erin. So yeah, listen for that coming up soon. That's going to be released in later this summer, but we have micro-credentials that will be available this fall. One of the micro-credentials, just before we leave that topic, that I wanted to just highlight for you because it might be of interest, is we have received funding from the Ministry of Labor, Training and Skills Development, to develop a manufacturing quality micro-credential. And the nice thing about when we have a government fund behind a development project like this is that we also have 30 seats available to offer to industry to take that micro-credential for free. So we will be obviously looking at following those students and seeing their progress as a bit of a testing ground to make sure that micro-credential is meeting its needs. But if you want more information about that, we are definitely looking for advanced manufacturing, automotive organizations who might have individuals that they would like to put through a manufacturing quality micro-credential later this fall. And we will be able to connect with you and let you know how they can access that free of charge. So as you've heard a number of things today about how to get involved with Conestoga College. A few other things listed here. We have things like project demo days where we have students highlighting their projects, and we're always looking for industry experts to be able to take a look at those and give feedback. There are program awards that organizations can sponsor. We talked a little bit about program advisory committees. That's really where we access industry experts like yourselves to come in and say, okay, what is it that you would like to see in a diploma program? And come in and help us with that. As mentioned in our corporate training area and workforce development, you can ask us for help with your training and development plan, see what we can do for you there. If you're hiring, lots of different opportunities between co-op, grads, and our Employment Ontario office that allow you to do that. So that sums up our presentation. We are happy to entertain any questions today. I'll turn it back over to Erin and Ashley to manage that.
Great, thank you very much, everyone. So we're going to move into the Q&A, and just a reminder, we have a Q&A box here at the bottom of your screen. If you'd like to put in some questions there, we have everyone on the panel that is welcome to answer any of your questions. And I see that we have a couple in here already. We had a question here earlier. Who should anyone connect with to offer apprenticeship opportunities for Red Seal positions, or specifically this person is asking about carpentry? Is anyone on the Conestoga team able to answer that question?
Sorry, we're all waiting for someone else to jump in here, aren't we? Actually, if you want to send that information, Erin, I'm going to offer up your email if that's okay, and then we'll connect you with the right people. We don't have someone from our trades and apprenticeship area on the line, but we certainly can connect you with the right people.
I think Paul also gave Abby Brandis's email in the chat box as well. So
yes, Abby Brandis she knows everything there is about that area and connects daily with all the key people. So she would be the perfect place to start, and would also be able to, offer a direct either a phone conversation or a tour of our facility if you wanted more. So Abby Brandis, and her email is in the chat box.
Perfect.
And also, I think on the next slide, when I believe you're sending out the slides, I believe, Ashley, is that?
Yes.
It has some contact information for a few of us. And so if a question, comes in, we can redirect it and make sure that it gets to the right place.
Great, and you can always send also to the chamber. I'm events@miltonchamber.ca. If you need further communication, or if you need us to connect with someone at Conestoga, you can do it that way as well. We have one more question here. Are you able to speak to Conestoga's intent to expand into Milton and the nature of the relationship between Conestoga, Milton, and Laurier? And if there are any details or need to pivot based on the reduction in government funding?
I'll take this one. So we are continuing to look to move into Milton. We continue to have discussions with Laurier on an ongoing basis. And I think what's great about the partnership is how our programs are complementary. They offer certain degrees in the area and environmental science that they're looking at bringing in. And Conestoga brings a plethora of other areas that they're not focused on at the moment. And that could be in manufacturing and trades and apprenticeship, and our PSW and health programs, and so many programs that we can start on a moment's notice and really help the community. And we had the president's breakfast that the mayor's breakfast that Milton put on, and our president John Tibbet spoke there, and he was literally swarmed afterwards with questions about what we could bring to the community. And I think, between the two of us, we really bring a wide variety of programming, and we want to move it forward with the ministry, and we're working with the local government, and I know Parmgill as well in that area to keep this project moving forward. So we are very excited.
Yeah, I can just jump in and add as well that much of what you've heard today doesn't need to wait for a physical presence in Milton. We're ready and excited about supporting the Milton community. So whether it's co-op or corporate training or some of these funded projects that you've heard about, we are quite able to bring that kind of thing to the Milton community at this point in time. And then when we have a physical presence, then that will just support it. But really, even what we're doing in our own region is very much in a virtual world right now. So happy to start in Milton now.
Thanks, Gil. I just wanted to let everybody know as well that we have over 200 graduates who own and operate businesses in the Halton region. And many of the members of the Milton Chamber of Commerce are already collaborating with Conestoga in one capacity or another, whether you have been supporting our co-op students and work integrated learning opportunities, have been engaging with corporate training. So thank you so much to all of you who have already partnered with Conestoga and are already accessing resources with the college. We are so excited to be able to expand that engagement within Milton and Halton region. And if you are interested in increasing how you collaborate with Conestoga or just stepping in to starting that with Conestoga, please do reach out to us, as we are happy to customize and to meet your needs.
Great. Thank you very much. I'll give it one more minute if anyone has any other questions. Otherwise, like I said, you can always reach out to the Chamber or anyone at Conestoga after this presentation, and they can follow up with you directly. And we will also be posting this webinar shortly to our library in our COVID resources webinar section, and it will also be up on our YouTube channel. So if you don't have the contact information, it will be there afterwards. And we want to thank Conestoga and also Magna Carmax for coming today and doing this awesome presentation. The Chamber is very happy to partner with Conestoga College, and we really appreciate everyone attending today. This will be our last COVID Conversations webinar. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending today. And we wish everyone a great rest of the day and hopefully a great weekend as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day.